All right, all right. Boy, we have got a treat for you guys today.
Oh, you muted yourself, Don. There
Wow,
you go.
I got muted there. Am
Such
I
That was
am I
my
okay
bad.
now, Nikita?
Trigger finger, Randy. Sorry, Don. Okay, start.
All right. Okay, let's rock and roll. We've got a treat for you guys today. A longtime friend and I would say thought leader in the AI space. Nick has been on national and even international stages talking about where AI is and how it's being applied. He, with his brother, have a institution that is training people on how to effectively deploy AI in real estate practices. I know he's going to highlight some of the ways that AI can be applied to lead generation and even not just getting brilliant responses to your questions as answer engines are doing now, but actually doing work for you. So, Nick, without further ado, why don't you rock and roll? Let's hear what you got to share.
Oh, thank you, Don. No, I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to be sharing with everybody on this call. And anytime we're talking about AI, I don't know about you guys, it's such a vast topic, right? Like there are so many directions that you can go with this. Just like I was talking to Randy before this. Glenn created that song for you guys before the call, and it's like, oh, you could use Suno to create songs. I know on past trainings I've done, we've created music videos for every one of the listings. So you can take your listing description, go to Suno, and then create an entire song around the listing. And all of a sudden, you have an entire customized song, all the way down to creating meal plans, creating workout routines, to creating your entire plan, like drafting emails and doing everything for you. There are so many directions that you can go with AI. And today, the topic that I want to cover, I believe, is one of the largest shifts in consumer behavior that is happening right in front of our eyes. Right. So that's what I want to cover with you guys here today. Like Don said, my name is Nick Krem, the co-founder of the Krem Institute. I'm a Stanford certified AI driven leader. What does that mean? It means I took a 6-week course in a Stanford online class, and there are people from Meta, there are people from Google all inside of here. And I don't know about you, but for me, I always like learning from people outside of the industry too, right? Like, what are you thinking? What are you guys working on? And some of my findings really came back were pretty astronomical. And I got a little private session too. Actually, my brother-in-law has an internship at Planeteer, and he was just at before that he was at Google, and just hearing how they're working on the back end too, and like how their people are using it. It's just fascinating to see what some of the largest people in the world are doing and where they're moving towards. And today, the exact topic I'm going to be talking about is really how consumer behavior is changing. And it's like, all right, that sounds cool, Nick, but what the heck does that actually mean? Thanks for asking, Don. No, I appreciate no. But what does that actually mean? So what we are seeing is for years, like how did we all get information? We went to the internet, right? You would Google something, it would give you 50 different links, and you would go through all the different links manually. But now we're starting to see a massive shift. It is now information, a layer of AI, and us, right? Where we ask a question. Even if you Google something now, what's that thing at the top that pops up? The AI overview. Whether you think you're using AI or not, you're getting the AI overview at the top. So we're going to go through some of those shifts. And, as we're getting into this, and I know if you guys have used AI a lot, you might be like, but Nick, it's not always right. But let me ask you guys this, put in the chat, who here knows somebody that believes everything they read on Facebook? Just put yes in the chat if you know somebody like that. They're probably the person that is sending you reels at 2 a.m. about this crazy life event. And the wild thing about this is people can shape their entire reality on something they didn't even research, right? Like it's this crazy thing that happened that they saw on Facebook. And because it was on Facebook, it has to be true. So, why is this important? Well, because you can see the consumers and people are being conditioned to just read it, believe it, read it, believe it. So when AI tells them they should work with someone or they should do something, I am looking at this as the modern referral. We all kind of see it. People aren't as communicative as they used to be, right? It's more so getting information from online, getting information from Facebook, creating online relationships and everything else. This is important because as we are getting more integrated with AI and our behaviors are starting to change, if AI tells them something, they are going to believe it. Put agree in the chat if you guys agree with that. Most people, if AI tells them something, they will just take it as fact. It's like they will just ask. And, the buyer will be like, how much should this home sell for? And it'll tell them 100,000 less. The seller will ask and it will tell them 100,000 more. And right. Because AI is just going to agree with whatever you are saying. So we're going to,
by the way, Nick, can I just chime in on that point real quick? Yeah. We sometimes are critical of the hallucinations that are occurring with AI, although I would suggest that they are occurring less and less.
Correct.
Right. But they still are occurring. But I would also say I have gone to mentors my entire life. And by the way, they're not always right.
Right.
Okay. So just because you went to one source and it gave you one suggested course of action doesn't mean you should take that as blind faith and go, okay, I go. At least maybe run it through a couple LLMs, or then also cross-reference that with a mentor that's in real life and say, hey, this is what Claude's telling me to do. What do you think? Right?
No, anyway. You're right. And it's like humans are prone to get things wrong. We're not perfect. No one on this world is perfect. So that doesn't mean to get us away from AI, from getting answers. But at the same time, it's people will see it, they'll believe it. That's the base principle that we are going with here. So I want to share with you guys some of the different things that we've discovered, and even more so, some of the huge announcements that are happening in the world that I feel like fly under the radar. Why? Because it's like a 2-hour news cycle now. Before it was a 24-hour news cycle, but it seems like there's a big life event that happens every couple hours. So here are some of the things that are happening that a lot of people don't see. So from searching to asking, these are stats from Google's World Forum. So Google had a World Forum about the shifts that they are seeing, what they are doing, right? 37% of consumers now start a search with an AI tool, not a search bar. 37% of the world, because this is Google, they're everywhere, now start a search with an AI tool, not a search bar. And I'm curious, do you guys think that number is going to go up or down in the coming years? Right? I see a lot of thumbs up. That number is going to continue to go up. And of course, 60% of people say that AI gives better answers than traditional search, and 85% still double check with regular search. So it's a verification layer. But I think this is fascinating too. Google's AI mode just passed 1 billion monthly users. 1 billion monthly users. And another thing that we are seeing is, even if I just go to google.com here, let's go to Google. It doesn't even ask me to search anymore. Their main button, if you go here and click, is AI mode. Like, they are shifting how the number one search platform in the world operates, all towards AI. So we're starting to see this shift. Google is now an agent. This was something else they announced at their World Forum. So we hear about agentic AI, right? And for those of you who maybe not have heard agentic AI, haven't dove down that rabbit hole yet, before this was generative AI, right? I will go to, let's say, ChatGPT, ask a question, it gives me an answer. I ask a question, it gives me an answer. The moment I step away, the moment it stops working. Why? Because essentially we are the generators. Agentic AI doesn't play by those rules. It's essentially a digital employee that lives in your computer that can do work for you. And what Google announced is essentially it's going to be the era of search agents. So based on all of this information, and I've always heard this one saying, and it's becoming more true now more than ever. If something is free, then you are the product, right? If something is free, then you are the product. Well, guess what Google has been gathering on us all of these years? Data, information. Every link you click, every search that you have, everything that you buy is run through the platform. So now they're introducing Google agents. So it's essentially going to do its homework. They are introducing this so you can literally have a Google shopping agent. We're all going to have a Google shopping agent. So what does that mean? Everything you've ever bought, everything you've ever searched, they're now going to start filling a cart for you. So basically, hey, we think you're going to like this and going to want to buy it. So then you just see it and be like, oh, I want to buy that. Of course you do, because all of the data is telling them that. So why is this important? Well, now Google is pretty much going to be determining what you want to buy. AI will be telling people what they would like to buy. I think that's really important just as we continue to go down this path of how it's getting introduced into our everyday lives. They also announced this, which I thought was massive. And I didn't see too many people talking about it online. At Google's 2026, their World Forum, the biggest change in search in over 25 years, 10 blue links are slowly going to be going away. They're going to slowly start going away when you search something and having all those links and almost going to a completely AI native search where AI will give you whatever answer and they will source it, right? This is massive. The way that the entire world searches for things is changing right in front of our eyes. 10 blue links are dead. Here is something else that happened just last month. And family, this should alarm you. Bots passed humans on the open web. 57.4% of website traffic is now not human. I'll say that again. 57.4% of all website traffic comes from bots and AI agents, not humans. And only 42% are humans. Family, we are now the minority on the internet. How crazy is that to say? We are now the minority on the internet. And again, do you think these numbers are going to keep going up or are they just going to miraculously go down? They're going to keep going up. And then YouTube is doing the same thing. Of course, Google and YouTube. They're starting Ask YouTube, which is more of a conversational way to do it, and AI making personal recommendations based on what you already do. It's just more conversational. So this happened years ahead schedule. The person who was Cloudflare, who's basically like the back end of some of the largest, online people on the internet. First guess was going to be the end of 2027 when AI bots were going to overtake humans. Then he changed it to early 2027. And now it's happening in 2026. And why is this happening? The average person visits five websites before buying or making a decision. AI scans thousands of pages before giving you an answer. So it's just operating at such a higher level. So going into this, in internet, you have to start thinking that what you build, the content that you put out there, as crazy as this sounds, is not really being built for humans anymore. Let's just take a second to really let that sink in. The content, especially your website, your blogs, your content itself and videos are not really being built for humans anymore. We're building these for machines to be able to be, for you to be findable. There's a platform, Moltbook. It was a network built out for AI agents and it drew 1.6 million autonomous agents in its first week. Big tech, and you see all these other places are going into it. I won't get into the dead internet theory. I don't know if we have enough time for that, but let's just say some people's lives are going to be reading an AI generated post, looking at an AI generated image, and then commenting with AI robots in the comment section. And that's going to be their life, right? It's already happening. Meta announced they released millions of AI agents onto their platform. So I just don't want anybody here arguing with AI agents in the comment section, right? Like just don't have that be your life. But as we're getting into this, here's one more step before we're going to kind of get into some things that I'm going to give away to you guys that will help you guys optimize yourself for this huge search shift. And again, this stat should alarm you. 82% of Americans last year used AI for housing information. That comes right from realtor.com. 82% of Americans last year used AI for housing information. Look, Now Nation, these stats should alarm you. Over half of the internet is now not even human. Over half of the internet. Google says they're going to be getting rid of all the blue links, switching to a whole AI native mode. 82% of people last year used AI for housing information. Now, look, as I'm getting into this, I just want to preface this with saying, look, I know some agents who still aren't on social media and make a killing, right? Like just because I'm going over this, if you don't optimize for this and you just say, I don't care about any of this, I'm going to focus on these areas, other areas of my business, you can still be very successful. What I don't want people to do is be halfway. Know it's important, kind of optimize for this, but kind of do something else and then kind of do something else, because the reality is AI only recommends 1 to 3 people. If you don't take this seriously and take action on it, you might as well focus in other places, right? So I just want to preface all of this by saying that. So let's get into it. Searchable isn't enough. Now you have to be recommendable.
Nick, before you go down that trail, Randy's got a question in the chat. He says, Nick, is there a way to question structure of a conversation we could ask in chats that identify if it's a bot? I.e., are you a bot, or how old are you, or something like that?
Oh, man. So all bots. So you just had a comment. So Randy says, I sold a truck on Auto Trader, had 50 messages and conversations. So on Auto Trader, I'm not familiar with the platform. Were you talking to Auto Trader or a lead that came into Auto Trader?
It's all over the place. You know, you're getting bots and you're trying to figure out if they're a bot. I was wondering if in your experience you found a way to like trick them up or ask them a question that they can't answer correctly. But my experience on Auto Trader was horrible. I literally was getting blown up with people going, "Hey, would you take this? Would you take that?" And I'm responding back, and I started feeling like I'm not talking to a real person.
Yeah.
And so eventually, I just started asking questions like, "When do you want to take, possession?" And the response, you could just tell that wasn't a live person. And I had one person out of 50 conversations that was a real person that I said, "Hey, can I give you a call?" Most of the bots are saying stuff like, "Hey, can we take this offline? Can you text me at this number? Or can you email me?" And it's a broken email, so Auto Trader can't spot it, right?
Yeah.
They're trying to keep people in their Auto Trader chat. But I wrote Auto Trader and I said, "This is completely bananas." They go, "We're aware of it. We don't have a solution." It was literally a hands up. We don't know what to do.
I don't have a solution for that either, at least one that comes to mind.
Yeah.
But that's the thing is like people set out their AI agents to go find go to a place like Auto Trader, completely lowball you, and then like that's their business model. I see
Wow.
the same people doing it with real estate. Is they have AI agents that go out there and they just lowball a bunch of properties, and if one bites, they go for it.
It's so true. You'd think that AI would enhance business that way, but it's driving people away. Like I'll never use Auto Trader again. One experience, never again. Right?
To my knowledge,
That's
I do not
crazy.
know a way because people can train their AI agents to say it's human, right? So it comes down to that piece of it as well. I don't know one personally, but I might look into that. I might ask Claude. No.
Well, I think just in general, though, we've got to understand that the likes of Google or Facebook, they are going to work to commoditize services, including real estate sales, for the benefit of the consumer. That's who they're looking to advocate for, right? Yeah. And so I do think that we should embrace all of these tools in order to build an audience of people for whom we're a real estate resource and their realtor of choice. But at the end of the day, if you don't then maintain those relationships and add value so that they don't desire going to the net for an alternative service, that's really, I think your defense is extraordinary service, being remarkable, and having a personal relationship with the client. We still may need to acquire clients that way, but I think you've got to retain them with personal relationship.
You're absolutely correct, Don. Like the human element is getting more valuable than ever inside of this AI powered world. I usually bring up the reference of the World War II when the Americans would fly out their planes and only a certain amount would come back. What happened during that time was the planes that came back, they were all shot up on the wings and the tail. So what most people said is, oh my gosh, we have to reinforce the wings and the tail. And there was one engineer that came back and said, no, 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 no. These planes made it back. The planes that didn't make it back, their engines got shot up. Therefore, we must reinforce the engines. And this created something called survivorship bias, right? What is everybody telling you to do right now? You got to learn AI. You got to implement AI. You got to do these things. Well, AI is getting simpler to do, like every single day. It's getting easier to use, easier to implement. We are all going to have AI. That is the wings and the tail. Your engines are the human element, right? Once you get in front of somebody, how do you actually build that relationship? So by saying that, I'm not saying ignore AI. You don't cut off your wings and your tail, but let's not forget about the engines, the part of the business that AI cannot replace. We hear this all the time, how AI is going to replace this job, going to replace that job. I'm going to show you guys today how these AI agents that are built all through texting replaces a lot of the parts of the job that you guys might be manually doing. So how valuable is it to manually do that anymore? Not too valuable. So the parts of the business that AI can never replace, those are your engines. So I appreciate you bringing that up, Don. And another point too is, I don't know if you guys saw this. I was watching one of Jared James's videos, and that's where I got some of my information on this, and I cross-referenced it. But Europe just launched, all of their listings are now live on ChatGPT and Claude, and you can search them native on ChatGPT and Claude.
Yeah, I saw that too.
That's
Yeah.
pretty wild, family. I am telling you, it is information. And I'm not just saying real estate information, it is all the information of the world, a layer of AI and people. This is the information layer that you now have to build for. So let's get into how you actually build for that. All right. So to be the number one recommended person inside of your area, there are 5 places that you really like that really go into this. First is building strong reviews and citations. Your Google business profile is more important now more than ever. Your Google business profile is more important now than ever. And also keeping your reviews frequent. If you guys haven't gotten reviews, I recommend getting 2 reviews a week. Why is that important? Well, if you're AI, you don't have emotions. You're not going to say, wow, I really like Courtney. I feel like she's a great person, so I'm going to recommend her. That's not how AI works. It says, who's the best in the area? Well, who has a lot of reviews in this area? They're going to go and check reviews and be like, wow, they must be really good. Does that make sense, guys? So that's one place that you need to have. AEO friendly content. This one is massive. Your blogs are getting more important than ever. Social media posts, even like it all feeds into your digital density. And then your blogs specifically answering the questions that your clients are asking. Places like your FAQ section on your website. Do you have an FAQ section? Why? Because AI loves that. Because if somebody is asking a question and you have a clearly defined answer inside of your website or somebody else, that's how they're like, oh, here's the answer. Active on social media, leveraging YouTube and video, and building external authority. What is external authority? That means getting backlinked. Like if I have a website and I talk about Don and then link his website, boom, there's somebody with authority talking about Don. So it builds his online credibility. So I actually created a couple tools for you guys. They're free to use, and I don't ask for emails or anything, so you guys can just use them here. Let's play a little game. So I built this tool, and it will audit your website. I put it here in the chat. It will audit your website, and it will tell you, based on your website and everything on it, how likely your website is to be recommended through AI. So all you have to do is copy and paste your website in here. And let's see, I'm going to take one of mine here. So this is actually one of my sites that we built. Put it in here, and I just ask all of you guys to do it and put your scores in the chat if you're feeling brave. But it takes 5 to 15 seconds, but it will audit your website. And I want to highlight a couple things on this, right? So mine is scoring 89. This is the big one right here. Robots.txt. If that has a red X next to it, that literally means that AI cannot even find your website even if it wanted to. So it does, like, your score being high is important. But this one, robots.txt, if that is not a green check mark, that means that AI cannot even find you even if it wanted to. Your website is literally blocking AI. Let's go. Brian's feeling pretty good about himself. He's got the 84 in the chat. I like it.
Nice.
And I will just say this, a lot of websites that are from CRMs and a lot of different places, don't be surprised if you score a low one. Just going to throw that out there. 82. Man, we got a good call. Jackie with the 82. I like it. What is the website to check? I'll throw up. That's my website. Sorry. I'm going to delete that. I'm going to throw that here in the chat for you guys one more time.
Yeah, Patrick, it's aeositechecker.com/audit.
I just threw that in the chat for you guys. aeositechecker.com. Nice. And again, family, the really important one is that robots.txt. You'll see that right at the top. That has to be open. That has to have a green check mark next to it. 80 out of 100. I freaking love it. Great call. 50. I like it. The honesty. Lance, honest. I like it. Look, family, these are just little things, right? Like if you want to be found through this technology, if you want your blogs and everything else that you are working on, that you are building, what does that mean? 80 out of 100. That's the score that that this site will check you on to check where you are currently at. And if your score,
cool. Thanks, Nick.
yeah, and if your score isn't where you want it to be, we give a full breakdown on things that you would want to change, how you would want it formatted in order for you to be able to be found through this tech. What needs the green check on it? Here, I'll run it one more time to show you guys.
It's the robot.txt.
Yep.
Jackie.
Robots.txt. So it's going to run the audits, and then I'll just show you guys one more time because this is the most important part right here. Robots.txt allows AI search crawlers. That has to have a green check mark next to it. All right. So I see we got some great scores here in the chat. Now I'll share with you guys. There's one more tool that we have built, and this one's fresh out of beta. So I'm just going to preface it with that. So for some reason, it doesn't go through. I think it should go through. We've tested it a bunch. But this one, what else is super important with being able to be found and especially recommended is your name, address, phone number, email, like your brokerage, all being the same across the internet. Why? Because if Randy has two of his past I don't know how many brokerages you've been at, Randy, but if Randy has two of his past brokerages still out there on the internet, 3 different phone numbers and 2 different emails, how can AI confidently recommend you? They'll be like, I don't know if Randy, like which number is Randy's. I don't know which email it is. So they're going to go find somebody else who is. So we built another tool for you guys. And this will give you a full breakdown of how you're positioned on the internet. And I will tell you this. This one had pulled out some interesting information for people. They're like, why is my past brokerage? I was with them 7 years ago and they still have my information online. So this will run like a full audit on your entire online presence. It will check your name, information, and website. It'll pull your information and it will give you an audit on where you guys are at online. And it will tell you what needs to be changed as well. These are the small hinges that swing big doors because you could have the best content. You could have the most reviews. You can be doing all the right things. But if your website isn't even set up for AI to find it, and if you have different names, different emails, different phone numbers online, AI cannot confidently recommend you. So this is really the beginning path to get all of that done for you.
By the way, you guys, I want to allow Nick the autonomy to continue with his presentation. That being said, if you have a question, just put it in the chat and we'll grab it at the end of his presentation.
All right. So at this time, do I have your guys' permission to show you some cool things that we've partnered with a company that is building AI agents to set all this up through texting? Can I just get yes in the chat if I'm cool to kind of show off some of the different things that we've been doing here?
100%.
So these people, like they're former Microsoft AI engineers. They've worked inside of the real estate industry, and it's pretty wild what they've been able to put together with some of the guidance that we've done. So what we've been doing for the past 2 years is doing exactly what we are showing you. We are blogging for agents, building out their websites, turning listing photos into listing videos using AI, creating single property websites. So we've been doing that, but we've been training a virtual assistant how to use all of these tools for humans. And then something crazy happened last year, right? End of last year, AI agents came out. I'm like, holy crap, this is pretty game changing. But then I also say, man, I'm not the smartest person in the room on this. Do I know a thing or two about it? Yeah. But there's also people who've been coding since they were 8 years old, right? So I'm smart enough to kind of take off my ego hat. So we started working with them. So I'll show you guys a little bit about what Halo is and what they've been able to build. So this is something a lot of our clients are using here. So what Halo is, I'm going to have to share my whole screen, actually. I know it's always dangerous when you share the whole screen, right? Like what's going to pop up? But anyways, so like what Halo is. So there's about 30 different, I'll actually start here. There's about 30 different autonomous AI agents here on the back end, right? So this is the back end that nobody actually sees, but I'll show it off to you guys. So there's like 30 different agents that are built inside of here. So like inside of the brain, there's like an AEO manager, a website developer, app developer, HR person, a listing video producer, open house concierge, AEO, SEO strategist. So there's all these different employees that are built into this platform, right? And I have about 7 of them listed here. There's about 30 that are on the main platform. So this is what the back end looks like. And then even more so, they have access to about 70 different large language models. So Claude Code, OpenClaw, Kimi Claude, like all these different models are built into it. Why is that important? Well, the best reference I can give for this is you wouldn't drive your Ferrari to the grocery store every single day if you had one, right? Like you take the Corolla, Camry, whatever else that you have, and save the Ferrari for the special occasions. Well, you don't want to use Claude Code for everything. It's freaking amazing, but it's a lot more expensive and it can do a lot of different things. So this model and what they built uses the right model for the right task. It'll use something like Kimi to perform the little tasks for you. So this is all built into the back end. And then what happens next? So then it comes into a dashboard that you can see. So then there's a dashboard. And like what Halo does is it can create your single property authority sites, as well as if you want to dominate a community. Let's just say like, oh, they're building this community inside of my area. I want anybody who looks up this community to find me. So it builds out your single property or it builds out your community site. And then it has an AEO, GEO, SEO specialist for you. And then it will blog for you 3 times a week without you touching it. How does it do that? Well, they have multiple research agents. They will research Claude, Perplexity, Open, like all the different places, and identify what are the most frequently asked questions about this community. And then it will take it to the SEO specialist and then write a blog, write everything, and it will just write this content for you. So you don't touch it after it's built. It just continues to do work for you. So I'll show you guys a little bit about like how it works, because we took it a step further. You can use the dashboard, but I'm like, look, I don't know about you guys, but I'm tired of logins and dashboards. I feel like I have enough passwords to remember. So then we set all of this up so you can literally just text it, right? Like anytime you want an update, you can just send it a text. So let's see. If I have one of my pictures here, let's say I want to take one of my Cabo pictures. I'll download. Let's see if I can just drag and drop. Nope. I'll download this. And I can just bring it over here to my Halo text. I'll just say, make this my background. So now it's anytime you want an update to your website or to anything else that you are doing, going through there, you can literally just text it and say, hey, make this my background on my website. And if you have iMessage, it is iMessage. If you have Android, it is Android, whichever one that you choose. iMessage is superior, but that's a conversation for another day. But got it? It's swapping it out. So it's like having a full-time website developer on staff. If you guys are doing YouTube videos, this is where it's like, hey, I have my new YouTube video here. I can copy the link, bring it over here, add this to my main page towards the top. So it's like every YouTube video I have, I just send it a text. It will update the page and get it sent over. So while that's happening, it's going to text me back. We'll kind of go back to that when we can. So like, just like an idea of like what some of the other agents have done, everything that you see on this page was created through texting, right? Here, text is like, hey, here's a video. Can you make it my background? Hey, dining and nightlife. So what he does is every week, he just texted like, hey, every week, can you pick a new spot in town to create a page for date night? So then every single Monday, it updates his page for date nights. Then he has his local journal. So this is going to blog for him 3 times a week based on what people are searching for, right? So then it blogs for him 3 times a week. So it's just a little bit of an example of how this works. And it is completely optimized for AEO, GEO, SEO. And we just set it all up through texting. But then we also
That's
kind of
awesome.
took it.
Hey, Nick, the going back to your robot.txt that is imperative, can we have an agent work on that? Or Patrick Showers was asking if I've got a red check instead of a green check mark, how do I rectify that?
You would have to go to your website provider, or if you are the provider of it, you would have to, I would literally just screenshot it and send it to the person you have the website with, be like, hey, can we open this? That would be the best way. And then if you have a bunch of things that need changed, you can literally copy all that and send it to them, like, hey, we need to change all this for my website. You can even use Claude to draft a nice email, or ChatGPT, whichever one you use, to draft a nice email with all of that information.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. I can tell you what our people do. They literally they just copy all this and they text Halo and say, fix all this. And then it fixes all of them for like 5 minutes. That's neither here nor there, but kind of here, I guess. But that's what they do, right? So they run it through the audit and say, hey, fix this, and it fixes it for them. But if you don't have that, then you could just send it to your website provider. If you built it somewhere else, you can go on your back end and change those things. Yep. Yeah. If you built your website on Claude, you can literally just go into the back end. You just have to change some certain things, copy and paste all that, and ask it to fix the HTML and things on the back end, and then you could have it do that for you too. We also took it a step further, and I'll just show you guys this one other thing because I think it's pretty cool. It's also kind of like your listing chief of marketing. So with Halo, you can text it your Zillow link once it's live, or realtor.com, or upload your pictures, and it will build you out your entire single property website. And again, AEO, GEO, SEO friendly. So this was all built just by sending it a text of your Zillow link. And it also takes your listing photos, and then it'll turn it into a listing video for you.
Systems don't go to surf the internet. They just have the conversation. They take up the information.
There, so that's a YouTube video that was ready. But these are listing photos that turned into a listing video. So all you did was text it your Zillow link, and the AI agents go out there, take all your pictures, turn them into a video, put it on the site, and you can download it. So that's done here. And then what it will do, it'll also like journal about the neighborhood, tell you about like facts of interest, dining, parks, outdoor. Then it will start blogging about your actual listing. And it will build all this out for you guys just literally by texting it your Zillow link. Amazing. So everything that you guys see is just done by texting. So this is just one of the platforms that we're really excited about that a lot of our clients are starting to use. I like it because it's all set up through texting. And this is just a way when you're saying like, how can AI agents actually do work for you? Well, this is how, when it's orchestrated right, to knock out all this different work and get it all done for you. And I'll just share this. If you guys want to get started with Halo, let's just scan this QR code and text it. It's $99 a month, and you get 2 sites, and then it's $99 per listing, and that's one time.
Awesome.
So I'll share that. And I'll also put a link in the chat. Again, this wasn't about pitching the tool. It's just all of our clients are using it right now, and they're liking it. Multiple people are starting to get leads from their Halo site, getting recommended by AI. And once they set it up, they don't have to touch it. It just continues to run and generate for them.
Phenomenal. And remember, you guys, this is going to enable you to be more efficient and attract more clients. But it's that relationship that's going to be your best defense.
You are absolutely right. Hey, once they call you and they ask what makes you different, they want to work with you, but you still got to go over there. You still got to close the deal and go around those lines. So you're absolutely right.
Well, and also oftentimes we become counselors in these transactions, right? Especially now, maybe more than ever, people are moving because of life events. Big things. They're getting married. They're getting divorced. They're having babies. They're passing away. They're having job transfers, advancements, or the other direction. But my point is that there's a component of the emotional side of the transaction that provides us a lot of defense if we're there to support that, right? And I think we still have a role. I have said for a long time, I think maybe in 5 years, we could see half the agents we have today, and maybe another 5 years after that, half again. But that still means we're going to have 25% of the agents. Woody Allen told us, if you just show up, you're going to beat 80% of the crowd.
Yeah.
Okay. If you show up and you have some familiarity with these tools and you're conscientious and intentional in your relationships, man, you go to the top 10%. So I think that we can look at these tools as assets and points of leverage for us, and just realize it's going to magnify us positively or negatively. So let's be on the positive side of it. Let's get some more questions for Nick, though.
Yeah.
Patrick do you feel like you have some direction now on how to fix the robot.txt?
Actually, no, I'm still confused. I've got a little disaster going on in my house. I had a flood, so I got a lot of people in here right now. So, but I wanted to get on, so I've kind of came in a little bit late. But I have a score, but my the robot text is not green; it's red. So, what do you do to fix that?
Do you personally host your website or is it hosted by somebody else?
It's hosted through EXP. It's through Bold Trail.
Unfortunately, that I do not believe that will be able to be fixed. I know multiple of our clients that work like that had those sites. They sent in a message, and that's something that they don't do on their back end. I could be mistaken, but I believe there's about like 20 of them that had that same issue through Bold Trail, and that cannot be fixed. Not that it cannot be, but it's just not through that platform.
Right.
I don't
I
believe
think
it's
if
something
enough of us,
you can send it in. You can show them like, hey, this is blocked. Can you open it up for me and see if they'll go on your back end and change that? But from my experience, the people who have had that through Bold Trail have not been able to get that fixed.
Okay.
yeah.
So basically, I need to develop my own website.
Well, let's keep in mind, Patrick, if enough of us bring this to their attention, they might have a change of heart, shall we say.
Yeah,
That'd
they
be
might.
great.
Yeah,
Don, I'm
absolutely.
going to put you in charge.
I want you're the one with the issue. Let's have you be in charge. Hey, but
Okay,
I'll
all
help. I'll help rally the troops, Patrick, for
I
sure.
appreciate it.
Yeah. And heck, they might have changed their stance on it from a couple weeks ago. Like, who knows if they had enough people? Because I know a bunch of people were messaging them. And for the record, that's not just Bold Trail. A lot of the CRMs and a lot of the places that have built out their websites built it in mind, in my opinion, in like 2020 thinking before AI. And there's just these shifts like robots. Before you wanted to block all the bots because who wanted bots on your website? Now it's like, hey, AI agents, they're not just bots. They're actually searching on behalf of humans. So now you want to open that up. So just a little
By
food
the
for
way,
thought on that.
Nick just gave us a great way of evaluating our course of action with CRMs or websites, right? In other words, before you go and commit to a particular one, have them give you some domains and run an analysis on it and see how they do.
That's a great idea. I didn't think about that, Don.
Yeah, no, for sure we can use it for that. That's great. Okay, so from a practical perspective, though, if you could deploy one digital employee, I like that term, by the way,
Yeah.
as an agent for you, what would you have them do today?
All right. So I think this opens up another question. So I'll answer your question kind of with the question here, Don. I'm getting my political hat on. But I believe the strongest skill of all business owners that they will have moving into the future is your ability to have discernment. Your ability to properly identify the problem you are trying to solve in your business, because AI will not be the issue, right? It will be, can you clearly articulate the problem you are looking to solve to bring to AI to help you solve it? You see, because everybody here has slightly different problems, runs your business slightly a different way. And that's the problem that I see with a lot of the blanketed, here, steal my Claude cheat sheet that'll teach you how to do this, this, and this. Well, I don't even run my business that way. So now I'm going to try and incorporate a different system into my business to save time. And now it just opens up this can of worms. So I believe the number one agent you should build will what is the number one problem you have in your business? Right? What is the one that sucks up the most amount of your time? And then you can go into Claude and say, all right, here's the number one problem I have in my business. Ask me one question at a time until we can fully understand it. And then it will help you break down the problem. Great. How much of this can I delegate towards AI and build into an agent? Why? Because the best instructor on how to use Claude is Claude, right? And then say, how much of this can we actually build out, whether it's co-work, whether it's building a tool into this? And it will break it down and it will tell you, great, now let's go build it and actually use it. So I wish I could have an answer for you on like the number one agent, but this is like, I'm teaching you guys how to fish here, right?
Yeah.
Your ability, like Look, AI is not getting dumber. It's getting smarter. It's getting easier to use and simpler to use. So the biggest difference between the people who win with it and the people who don't will be your own personal ability to identify the problem you are trying to solve. Because I've seen some agents end up with 15 dashboards in the name of efficiency. I'm like, well, that's not efficient. 15 dashboards that you built out, you just created 15 more things to check. So clearly identify the problem you are looking to solve. And like this is where it also I get into when you go to like an event and you see 15 different people that made millions of dollars 15 different ways. And what most people do is they try to go back and do all 15. It's like, well, no, they specialize in that one area and they focused on it. So you don't need everything that AI does. You need to just identify what are the activities that are done behind a computer, right? Done behind a computer. What are the ones that take up the most amount of time? Can I solve that with AI? And just go into it and start asking questions, identify the problem, go deep into it. Great. Now let's build it out. So that's what I would say.
Yeah, well, it's a great response. And I would just add that in addition to really understanding your problem so that you can prompt AI to get a good answer, you've also, I think you want to even back up a little bit and think about what unique qualities do you possess that would serve a particular customer. So I think where this begins is you've got to know your ideal client. I would ask my agents, or I still do, what's an ideal customer? And someone will come back and say, well, anybody that wants to buy or sell in Sacramento, Tri-County area. I'm like, okay, well, so exactly like 15,000 other people, right? So if you can determine your ideal customer, that doesn't mean you won't accept other customers, but if you know your ideal one and then how to acquire it, then the AI can then educate you on a path for that. So make sure that you understand that as well. Hey,
Yeah.
I see Trevor coming up on the screen, Nick, and she had a question about, she's still being plagued by data that is from her legacy company before she joined EXP. How can she expedite that going away?
So did you own the company before or were you a part of the different company? Is it like a part of the past place?
Trevor, you're muted.
Yeah, sorry, I was trying to. I was just a part of the brokerage.
So what I would do is I would screenshot that and I would go to Claude or Chat GPT and say, hey, my past brokerage refuses to take this down. Help me write a message or an email to them that will get me X result for them in order to take it down and create a sense of urgency of why they really need to do it or something along those lines. Just have it help you orchestrate the message that will really kind of put a fire under their butt to help take it down. That's what I would do.
I'm just wondering because they've been bought out by Compass. I mean, I don't know that they care.
Well, if you give them evidence that they're misrepresenting you and their brokerage, that they would ultimately become liable for, I believe you will find they will act with a little more promptness.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah. And by the way, and if they don't respond to that, Trevor, take it to your local board. And the local board will probably address it with them.
Wonderful.
Okay, you guys, we're going to need to wrap up here. Do we have any more questions?
I just thought I'd share this. I think the group would like this story. Very relevant. Just happened. A loan officer lost the deal and it has to deal with AI. Client was buying a second home. She was working directly with a bank. The bank was a little greedy. They increased the rate on her 0.5% to 1%. She got very upset. Of course, it threatened the deal. Came to me asking for referrals. She called 6 other loan officers, but she doesn't like AI, but her daughter did AI. And she found a loan officer with an incredible rate. And, and again, that banking officer lost the deal because they got a little greedy. So there's 2 parts. You said about the relationship. That's very true. The relationship is there, but you can't abuse the relationship. And that's what happened. And now AI filled that gap. And she asked me, did you ever hear this guy? I said, no. I said, how did you find him? Well, my daughter did the AI thing. And, and so, yeah, so it is very real. It just happened. You want to stay close with your clients. don't abuse the relationship. I'm not really thrilled to hear that these top 3 people are going to get all the business. And I personally think, a lot of agents, we're all going to be marching in the headed line, but it's very germane, it's relevant. And so I think there's a couple key lessons for our group here, which is be right for your clients, do right for them. But that loan officer lost the deal on that.
Eric, I think that's a great story. And, something like that happened recently to one of our clients too. But thankfully they were using what we were talking about, but their seller wasn't big into AI, but their out of state brother was. And they're asking, like, I don't know an agent, I don't know anybody in the area. He's like, here, let me go check. He went to Chat GPT, asked those questions, and he came back emphatically and said, you need to call this person. This is who you need to go with, because AI told him. So he told her. And then that's how she got the listing.
One quick question for this.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, Tom, we're going to wrap up here. Let's,
awesome.
Who do we have coming up next week? And then I know you have a message for us.
Well, we've got another hot topic and another great speaker next week. So I believe it's Jackie McKelvin. You want to share about that?
I don't think Jackie's on, but she's having Carrie or Jackie. Are you on? I don't think she
was earlier. Yeah, because she had an 82 on her website.
Okay, well, hey, we're going to have a great speaker next week. Another great topic. Yeah, go ahead.
I think it's Carrie. I think it is. From EXP Corporate. So we're going to get another dose of AI from the EXP Corporate side, which will be great.
So it's Carrie Lysenko, and she's talking about 3 EXP technology systems that you should implement now. So it's going to be a really good one next week. Make sure you tell others about it, and let's get some more people on here because it's going to be very valuable.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Nick, Don, everybody. Now Nation, for making things happen. Now you got your inspiration. Time to put in perspiration. Thanks, guys. See you next week.
Nick, thank you. That was fantastic info.
Yeah.
And great tools.
Yeah,
very
absolutely. Good. Appreciate you guys.
Thanks, brother.